Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James, coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. President Tinubu arrives in Brazil on state visit. Governor Moino disburses 361 million naira business grant, announces new project in Etinan Federal Constituency. Plus, Zelensky vows to continue fighting as Ukraine marks Independence Day. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. First in the news this morning is that President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Brazil to commence a state visit. Presidential spokesman Bayo Nanogo has said the Nigerian president landed at the Brasilia International Airport today at 12:30 a.m. Tinubu, who fled in from Los Angeles, United States, was received by senior Brazilian government officials at the Brasilia Air Base. Nanogo said Brazilian officials who welcomed Tinubu included Ambassador Carlos Sergio, Secretary for Africa and the Middle East, and Ambassador of Brazil to Nigeria, Carlos Gacete. Away from that, the federal government has introduced a new policy framework to enhance the management of its public debt, with the Debt Management Office (DMO) announcing the approval of the Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy (MTDS) for 2024 to 2027. According to report, the strategy developed with technical support from the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) and approved by the Federal Executive Council, set fresh benchmarks to balance government financing needs with long-term sustainability while minimizing cost and risks. Reports say the DMO and MTDS focused on meeting the government's short to medium-term financing and payment obligations, achieving an optimal debt portfolio, and expanding the domestic security market through innovative products. We move down to the Green Chambers, where the House of Representatives has queried the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission over the 59 billion naira Central Bank of Nigeria loan to electricity distribution companies for the execution of the National Mass Metering Program (NMMP). Chairman of the Joint Committee of the House, Uchenna Okonkwo, investigating the disbursement and utilization of the loan, made this known in a statement. The committee also faulted Merrick Stamp Wealth Management Limited and Nisi SSL for approving a firm to receive 0.5% of annual collections from electricity distribution companies until 2030. The committee vowed to invoke relevant constitutional provisions against anyone found obstructing the investigation. In another development, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has called on Rotary Club International and other humanitarian groups to assist in rehabilitating and reintegrating ex-inmates across correctional centers in Nigeria into society. This is also in recognition of the Minister's commendation of the Rotary Club International for its consistent support to Nigeria's correctional centers, particularly in the areas of education, vocational training, and prison decongestion. The minister stated this at the Rotary Club of Abuja as the 10th anniversary and Investiture Club project flag off in Abuja. The minister, represented by Amos Akemulewa expressed gratitude to the Rotary Club for its contributions during an event celebrating the club's 10th anniversary. He pointed out that President Bola Tinubu has ordered prison decongestion and criminal justice reforms which align with the efforts of humanitarian partners like Rotary. In a separate development, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has demanded that the current earnings of all political office holders be made public, along with the benchmarks for any proposed review. The demand comes amid rumors circulating in the media of a possible review of elected political office holders' take-home pay in the country. The Labour body strongly opposed the proposed upward review of remuneration for political office holders by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission (RMAFC), warning that such a move could worsen inequality and spark nationwide outrage. A statement issued by NLC President Comrade Joe Ajaero described the proposal as insensitive, unjust, inequitable, and a direct threat to social stability. He argued that such a review would deepen poverty among Nigerians, most of whom have been classified as multi-dimensional poor. Back here, in a landmark homecoming event and empowerment drive, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pasumoino has disbursed business grants totaling 361 million naira to 844 beneficiaries across Etinan Federal Constituency, comprising Etinan, Nsudibom, and Nsurubium local government areas. The disbursement took place during the Etinan, Nsudibom Federal Constituency Town Square meeting at the Ikoledibong Secretariat, Nsurubium. The event marked the grand finale of the Governor's Town Square meeting across the 10 federal constituencies of Akwa Ibom State, which commenced in March with Abak Federal Constituency. Speaking during the event, Governor Eno, while expressing gratitude for the unwavering love and support from his people, reaffirmed his determination to deliver fully on the Arise agenda. He announced fresh development directives, including the dualization of the Afarafiong Road to be expedited by the Ministry of Works and the construction of a new police station at Ikoredibong, headquarters of Nsudubium, to be undertaken by the Inter-Ministerial Direct Labour Coordinating Committee. On its policy of establishing youth-friendly centres in all the local government areas, the Governor urged local council chairmen to each avail him of 1,000 square meters of land for the project and also hammed on the essence of encouraging youth in computer training. Also speaking, stakeholders of the federal constituency through the political leader, Senator Effiong Bob, held that Governor Eno's performance had endeared him to the people of the entire state. On his part, the Oku Ibomi Bibio and President General of the Supreme Council of Traditional Rulers, His Eminence Ntenyin Solomon Etuk, acknowledged that God has used the governor to accomplish much for the state. He said a huge crowd was a true reflection of the love and confidence of his people in him. Also speaking, the chairman of Nsudubium local government area, Alfred Charles, on behalf of the three chairmen in the constituency, hailed the governor as the pride of Etinan Federal Constituency, assuring that the constituency would stand solidly behind him all the way. Earlier, the Secretary to the State Government, Enobong Wa, had described the governor as a compassionate and inclusive leader, as well as the best performing governor in Nigeria, who in just 2 years has earned the love of his people. Government House correspondent Jen Owa reports that the high point of the event was a symbolic presentation of checks to some of the beneficiaries. We move now to Africa, where South Africa's government has vowed it will not let the U.S. withdrawal of about $427 million in support collapsed its HIV program, the largest in the world. Reports say South Africa has more people living with HIV than any other country in the world. According to the report, when U.S. President Donald Trump slashed Americans' foreign aid budget, the impact was immediate, as free clinics closed their doors, leaving patients without medication. Still in Africa, Libyans in 7 municipalities in the country's northwestern region have been finally allowed to vote on Saturday. There are Zawiya Marcus, Zawiya Wasat, Zaya Gab, Zaya Chamal, Zabrata, Somani and Bin Jenam. Recall that polls there were delayed for a week due to security concerns following an attack on Electoral Commission facility in one of the areas. A first phase of voting was held for 58 municipalities last November, while the second session covered 26 municipal councils earlier this month. Although not all municipalities were able to vote, the polls are seen as a crucial step in revitalizing local governance. On the foreign scene, President Vladimir Zelensky has said that Ukraine will continue to fight for its freedom while it calls for peace and while it calls for peace are not heard in a defiant address to the nations on its Independence Day. Zelensky's remarks came after Moscow said Ukraine had attacked Russian power and energy facilities overnight, blaming drone attacks for a fire at a nuclear power plant in the western Kursk region. Still on the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to deploy troops to Baltimore, escalating a clash with Maryland Governor Westmore after the Democrat invited him to join a safety work in the city. Trump wrote on his social media handle that if Westmore needs help, like Gavin Newsom did in LA, he will send in troops, which is being done in nearby DC, and quickly clean up the crime. The comments marked the latest flashpoint in the president's effort to deploy National Guard troops to Democratic-led cities as part of what he calls a crackdown on crime. Still to come in the news. Manchester United draw at Fulham after Ferdinand misses penalty. Stay tuned for details of this in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. On our business news, the federal government and Japan have moved to strengthen cooperation in the solid mineral sectors with plans to align investment strategies aimed at unlocking Nigeria's vast mineral resources. The initiative followed high-level discussions between Nigeria's Ministry of Solid Mineral Development, Dele Alake, and officials of the Japan Organization for Metals and Energy Security on the sidelines of the 9th Tokyo International Conference on Africa Development, TICAD-9, in Yokohama. A statement released by the Ministry's Special Advisor, Kehinde Bami, in Abuja says the meeting focused on attracting Japanese mining firms to participate in Nigeria's mineral exploration and development projects. The minister also assured Japanese mining companies of benefiting from tax holidays and duty waivers on equipment, while urging them to invest in local processing of minerals before export in line with Nigeria's value addition policy. Still in business, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has urged the federal government to ensure that indigenous manufacturers supply fencing materials for Lagos Airport's perimeters fencing project, warning against importing clay VU fencing from outside the country. In a statement, MAN commended the federal government infrastructure initiatives but stressed that the ongoing procurement for the Murtala Mohammed International Airport perimeter fencing and security surveillance project must reflect President Bola Tinubu's Nigeria's first policy. The Director General of MAN, Segun Ajaye, said it has become a matter of national interest for the contractors handling the project to ensure strict adherence to Executive Orders 003 and 005 and the imperative of President Bola Tinubu's Nigeria's first policy. Ajayi maintained that local firms have the capacity and expertise to produce fencing materials that meet international standards, adding that sidelining local manufacturers in favor of import would undermine government policy and deprive the country of critical benefits such as job creation, foreign exchange savings, increased tax revenues, and a strengthened industrial base. In health, the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) Federal Capital Territory has commended its members for their perseverance and urged them to remain steadfast in the face of challenges. NMA FCT Chairman Dr. Emeka Ayogu made the call at the dinner and awards held in Abuja to conclude the chapter's 2025 annual general meeting and scientific conference. Ayogu noted that members of the association had continued to persevere despite disadvantages, particularly regarding their welfare, and encouraged them to sustain their resilience. He explained that the awards were a way of saying thank you for their unrelenting efforts, stressing that the outing demanded enormous energy, time, and mental inputs before it became a success story. We move now to sports, where Manchester United remain without a Premier League win this season after being held 1-1 at Fulham, while a Jack Grealish-inspired Everton opened their new stadium with a 2-0 victory over Brighton. Ruben Amorim's United were left to reel Bruno Fernandes' wayward first-half penalty as they were penned back at Craven Cottage. Rodrigo Muniz's own goal put United in front on the hour mark, but Emile Smith came off the bench to rescue a point for Fulham. Amorim is seeking an upturn on a disastrous 15th place finish last season, but so far his new $270 million forward line of Matthias Cunha, Brian Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko, who again started on the bench. Still in sport, Super Eagles star Christantus Uche is set to join Premier League club Wolves from Getafe. According to reports, Wolves have submitted an official bid to Getafe worth 20 million euros for Uche's signature. Negotiations between both clubs are underway to make the deal done, as Wolves want a new striker before the summer transfer window closes in the coming days. Also, talks are ongoing between Wolves and Uche's camp in a bid to bring the 22-year-old to England. Uche joined Getafe in 2024 from Spanish club FC. On entertainment news, Big Brother housemate Victory and Gigi Jasmine have been evicted, leaving 23 of the original 28 contestants still in the game. The live eviction show hosted by Ebuka in the Lagos studio began with the host wishing Koyi a happy birthday, teasing him about whether he was turning 22 or 26. During the show, Biggie announced Mensan as the most influential player in the house, as voted by the housemates for his impact for the week. Victory, the first to leave, admitted he did not expect his eviction. When asked about the triangle involving Gigi and Joanna, He said he didn't want to talk about all these people, but expressed a liking for Joanna. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. I am Emedion James and you've been watching Spectrum News at 10. Do enjoy the rest of your day and thank you for watching.